you guys, my name is Darla Rodriguez and welcome to my channel. I'm hoping you are having a fabulous week. Summer's here, the sun's bright, it's all good. We're almost out of the mask mandate, which is super exciting. So stick around because we're gonna talk about concealers. I have a new concealer from Tarte, which is their Ultra Creamy, and a new powder from Tatcha, which is their silk powder. And I'm just gonna try and give you some little tips on how to make your concealer look the best it can possibly look. Stick around and let's get into it. Before we get into this episode, if you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you could click that little button, and you can always give me a thumbs up after the video if you enjoyed any of the tips and tricks that I had to share. So I have my eye makeup done, but I have no complexion on right now. I of course have moisturizer and my primer, okay? But I wanted to talk a little bit, yes, I have new products, but I also have new techniques that I'm using. When I first started this channel, in fact, while I'm talking, I'm gonna get started, because when I first started this channel, I did my concealer a different way. That was almost 3 years ago. And you know, things change. Your skin changes as you age. Things get drier. You know, your environment. There's so many variables that affect the skin. And the under eye area is super delicate, and really it gets worked out so much that it's one of our #1 aging areas of the face. So as I'm talking to you, I am grabbing, these are #7 eye patches. And what I've been doing like the last, I don't know. Oh, hold on. I don't have a mirror. What I've been doing the last maybe year and a half, is as I'm getting ready, which I would typically do these before I do my eye makeup, but I wanted to put them on while I'm on camera, so that's why I didn't. But typically I would do it before I do my eye makeup, and I let them sit. So I have them on. These are the #7 Instant Result Revitalizing Eye Patches. They're amazing. They're very inexpensive. I believe 6 packs come in a box, and it's less than $15. And why I love that, and you can look back in my videos. I've done eye patch videos. I absolutely love them. I think they're wonderful additions to your skincare. But these in particular, because they're so cost effective, I can use them 3 times a week, maybe even when I'm doing my makeup. If I'm going, you know, 2021 has been a different world. So sometimes we're putting our makeup on every day, sometimes we aren't. But if I'm putting on my makeup every day and I'm doing an eye look, I put on these eye patches and let them sit, because it gives you such a nice plumping effect prior to doing your concealer. So while those are sitting, because I've already done my eye makeup, and typically these would sit while I'm doing my eye makeup, I didn't do my foundation. So I'm gonna do that while I'm talking to you and sharing the new product that I have. So we are talking about concealing. I shared that, I kind of just dot around, by the way. I shared that when I first started my channel, I did my concealer differently, and I did. If you look back, I kind of cringed when I watched the video because I had so much concealer. You know, the last year and a half, the whole makeup scene has gone much more simplistic, even though my eyes are done. But the complexion part of it, you know, it's not really heavy, full coverage foundations out there right now. That's all the skin tints and the hydration, very lightweight foundations, or CC creams, you know, all of that. And I know you've seen it. So everything has kind of just relaxed in the sense where you want that skin loving, ingredient filled product on your skin, whether it's foundation, Of course, concealer, I've always looked for that. And so prior, I did my concealer pretty heavy, even though I diluted it down with a hydrating setting spray. And my reason for doing that was I didn't want to use powder around my eyes because it was looking so cakey and just yucky. I mean, it didn't matter what I did. It just had that really heavy makeup, settle in lines. I know you guys know what I'm talking about because it really starts happening even in your 20s. I mean, if you smile, you have crow's feet. It just is what it is. I still hydrate the eyes in a different way at a different time. I'm not using the hydrating setting spray and I'm not using a setting sponge. So I want to share with you how I'm applying it and the new products that I have that I'm really loving. So Tarte came out with, it's called Shape Tape Ultra Creamy. So if you are a makeup lover of any kind, Shape Tape you know about when it comes to Tarte because it's the #1 concealer brand out. I mean, they still hold that #1 spot for concealers for Shape Tape. Ultra Creamy has those ingredients that I was talking about. So I have a cheat sheet here and I wanted to share a little bit of the skin loving ingredients that the Ultra Creamy has in it. Hyaluronic acid, prickly pear, ginseng, vegan squalane, mango butter, shea butter, raspberry ketone, meadowsweet. So many really, really good ingredients that address anti-inflammatory, hydration, antioxidants. Gosh, so many great elasticity. The shea butter helps to retain skin's elasticity. So many great things that are in this that made me want to try it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I was kind of nervous because I've tried Shape Tape, the original, and for me, obviously, it's the #1, again, it's the #1 concealer out there right now. For me, it did not work. It was too heavy. It was too dry. It just looked terrible. This one, though, oh my goodness, I love it. I absolutely love it. So these I typically would leave on 10 minutes, but we're going to take them off a little early for the sake of time. But you can see that the area is like nice and hydrated and plumped. And that's what I want to place my concealer on. And even though I put my foundation on, I don't go above my cheekbone for my foundation anyway. That's where my concealer goes. So it's not going to disrupt that. So here we have the Shape Tape Ultra Creamy, exactly the same packaging as the original. And I do a dot here, a dot here, dot here, and a dot here. Another thing I've changed. So I used to go literally all the way, my whole eye area. Less is more. It just is. You don't need a lot of product to make a difference. It has kind of a very, the finish is, I would say, a natural finish. Has a little bit of a sheen that's pretty, but it blends out really nicely. And honestly, if I didn't have foundation on, which I've done quite a bit since I've had it, I just wear it by itself and kind of touch up where I need to touch up. So I'm just going in here. I go down the center of my face, and that's where I want it brighter. And then I kind of barely touch that area directly underneath the eye, because that is where it's going to be more noticeable when it settles. Now, I want to touch on the settling thing. I'm not even sure if this says crease proof, but I've said it in the past. It just doesn't exist. And that's okay. I just wish they wouldn't say it, because sometimes people think, oh, this is crease proof. I'm getting it and it should work perfectly. I have tried not a million, but I've tried a lot of concealers, and to this moment, none of them are crease proof. Okay. So there is the concealer. And I really, really like it. And I will just kind of press in just to kind of melt it into the skin, but it highlights the area and it leaves it feeling nice and just fresh. And the next new product I have is Tatcha's The Silk Powder. And it's a translucent powder. It actually is illuminating and talc free. Very, very, very important that it's talc free. Has a little section right here. It's not messy at all. If I could kind of show it to you. Can you see right here? Is that good? It's so nice. Just kind of blurs out the area. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because I'm typically not a fan of powder. Loose powder, regular powder. Just, it doesn't enhance anything that I love on my face. So I, for the past pretty much 10 years, have stopped using powder. Hence why when I was talking about concealer, I use the hydrating setting spray with a sponge. That's what I did for a few years actually, and it worked okay. But I'm happy to say that I love this powder. So I've been taking a brush like this, and I just take a little bit, and I roll it onto the brush like that. And I don't, again, go directly under the eye, but I do touch here where the pores are and the center of my face. And it just blurs out the area. And honestly, because I've had it for, I think, 3 weeks now, I can honestly tell you, it does not kick up. It's so refreshing. I'll even go down my laugh lines. You know, wherever makeup settles, powder typically will do the job. I just haven't used it because I haven't had a powder that I loved, that I felt really enhanced my makeup look rather than bringing attention. That's what sometimes powders, especially powders that have talc in them, just so you know, that's one key ingredient. When there's talc in a powder, it'll settle. It'll give that, there's like little lines that you see on your skin, and that powder will find every single one of them. That is my concealer. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's just a new way to do concealer. These guys are a big plus. If you can get any type of eye patches, I personally love the number 7. Again, cost effective, so you could use them every day. And then the concealer, this looks like the same brand, but they are different brands, Tarte and Tatcha. So hopefully those tips will kind of, you know, help you if you're doing something different, maybe incorporate one of them and see if that works. This powder's amazing. And the concealer, I'm like loving it. So I'm very happy with my purchases. I will continue to use it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.